The year is 9400 BC. Listen to the wind moving through the tall grass. There are no cities here, only the quiet hills. Deep within a carved enclosure, the winter sun slowly moves across a limestone wall. Its light touches a face carved directly into the bedrock, calm, patient, and timeless. This is Karahan Tepe, a place hidden in the hills of what is now southeastern Turkey. It is older than the first words of written history, older than the Great Pyramids of Giza. We are not looking at a ruin, but a message left for us, a memory of a time before history began. Here, beneath the earth, a story was carved from the living rock, telling of a people who gathered in this silent, vast landscape long before the first cities were ever imagined. The air is cool and still, holding the secrets of an age we are only just beginning to understand. Within this sacred enclosure, a figure sits in quiet contemplation. It is a large statue, carved with incredible detail from the surrounding limestone. We call it the seated figure. Its hands rest on its chest, holding a symbol of life and power, while its face is turned slightly upwards, as if listening for a sound only it can hear. The artists who made this did so with a deep understanding of their material, their tools, and the human form. This was not a simple carving, it was an act of creation, a monumental effort to give a permanent shape to an idea, a belief, or a revered ancestor. It sits alone, a silent watcher in a chamber of stone. Nearby, another presence makes itself known. A face in the wall, large and imposing, looks out from the bedrock itself. Its expression is strong, stoic, and unreadable. The features are defined by deep lines and a prominent nose, giving it a sense of authority and permanence. It does not feel like a portrait of one person, but the embodiment of a collective spirit. This face has watched over this place for millennia, its gaze fixed on something beyond our sight. Around it stand rows of T-shaped pillars, like silent guardians forming a circle. Each pillar is a giant of stone, some carved with intricate images of animals and abstract symbols. They are not merely supports for a roof. They are beings, ancestors, or gods, standing witness to the ceremonies that once took place here. This place was not lost to time by accident. It was not abandoned to the wind and the rain. The ancient builders, the very same people who carved these stones with such care, made a deliberate choice. They began a long, difficult task to bury their own creation. For years, they filled these sacred rooms with earth and stones. They carefully covered the statues, protecting the seated figure and the face in the wall from the world above. They did not destroy their work. They preserved it. They packed the dirt around the T-shaped pillars, turning their temple into a tomb, a time capsule sealed by its own makers. They were preparing it for a long sleep, entrusting their legacy to the darkness and the quiet patience of the earth. What was uncovered here changes our understanding of who we are. For so long, we believed that monumental art, the desire to represent the human form on a grand scale, came much later in our story, with the rise of great civilizations. But this site holds a profound truth. The seated figure of Karahan Tepe is one of the oldest known monumental statues of a human ever discovered. This is not just decoration. It is art as self-expression, as a way to understand our place in the cosmos. It proves that thousands of years earlier than we thought, our ancestors were not just surviving, they were contemplating, creating, and expressing a deep and complex inner world. They valued art, not as a luxury, but as a fundamental part of being human. For thousands of years, this place was covered by the soil, sleeping through the ages, protected from the rain and the sun. The stone face watched in silence as empires rose and fell, as languages were born and forgotten, as the world above changed beyond recognition. It has held its vigil for over 10 millennia, a memory of a time before history began, preserved in the darkness, waiting for the light to return. And now, as we stand before it once more, it looks out at us with the same calm, patient, and timeless gaze, a silent bridge connecting our world to a long-lost beginning.